Welcome to our presentation on the culture of sports marketing by Kara Super and Grace Goffredo.
So first we'll go into a little bit of an overview of what our paper discusses. So it discusses what sports marketing is. So sports marketing involves promoting sports events, teams, products through strategies to engage fans, influence consumer behavior. It also combines some elements of branding, sponsorships, media, and storytelling to build that emotional connection with the audience. And then our paper addresses the question, is there differences among different cultures? And the answer is yes. Culture significantly impacts how sports are marketed. Consumer behaviors, communication styles, values, and even legal regulations differ from country to country, shaping unique marketing strategies. And then we'll go into what this looks like in different countries. So in the United States, sports marketing is entertainment-based, heavy emphasis on storytelling and celebrity endorsements. And there's big events such as the Super Bowl that are really prominent. Europe's strategies focus on cultural sensitivity, regional customization, and local partnerships. And then with China, we have marketing thriving on technology and influencing and influencer culture. So for the United States, sports marketing is entertainment focused. Sports are marketed as like major entertainment events through the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl is a really good example that we all know, those iconic ads and halftime shows. Celebrity endorsements is a really big thing as well, heavy reliance on athletes and stars to drive campaigns. The emotional storytelling aspect, so focusing on like really inspiring and relatable narratives, a lot of them done by Nike. And then there's also massive brand investment, so companies spend millions of dollars on ads to reach millions of followers.
The next one we looked at was Europe and how it's different from the US. Europe has a lot of localized messaging. They're tailored to each country's language and their culture. There's a lot of trust and transparency. Authenticity is highly valued throughout all the European cultures. There's a lot of local partnerships with regional influencers over big name celebrities. There's a lot of cultural sensitivity, which avoids one-size-fits-all campaigns, unlike the United States, and it less show and more strategy through their marketing techniques. It focuses on tradition and not as an entertainment spectacle. We also looked at China. China is very tech-driven. They have a heavy use of social media and digital platforms. They use influencers over celebrities with a focus on KOLs, or the key opinion leaders, rather than mainstream celebrities. They have a big government influence. Marketing must navigate government regulations and oversight because it's a very strict framework that they have to follow. They use a lot of user-generated content, and consumers share fitness journeys and product experiences to build trust of the people buying it or using their products. And there's a lot of community-centric, more emphasis on local engagement than large-scale events such as the Super Bowl.
And then our paper kind of moves into a comparison and contrast of the different cultures that we kind of went over. So how is sports marketing similar among cultural differences, and what stays the same? So the emotional engagement is pretty much the same throughout the different regions that we selected. So all use storytelling to connect with fans. Brand consumer trust is a really big thing as well. Building long-term relationships through partnerships and endorsements. Digital influence, so social media and digital ads play a key role everywhere. Sponsorships and partnerships, as well as global events such as the Olympics.
Next, we looked at the differences between the cultures that we selected and how they all different. There's a lot of localization versus mass appeal. In Europe and China, they tailor to specific areas, while the US leans more towards a mass appeal for any marketing that they do. There's a big role of government and regulation. Europe and China have heavily influenced / strict frameworks, while the US is more flexible and driven by the market and what the market wants to see. There's a big digital engagement strategy difference. Europe's digital engagement depends on its location, while China and the US use platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, and all the ones that China has just for them. There's a big celebrity endorsement versus storytelling. Europe carefully chooses to maintain authenticity, and in the US, the endorsements turn athletes into more of a cultural icon, so there's a kind of like a a big difference there. And then cultural focus in marketing themes, Europe emphasized authenticity, China focuses on technology-driven personalization, and the US highlights entertainment.
So then we go into cultures impacting other cultures. So there's a lot of cultural influence in sports marketing, global blending of strategies. So sports marketing often combines different elements from different cultures that kind of intertwine, creating a more dynamic and effective campaign worldwide. There's a lot of Western influence in China as well. So Chinese brands like Li Ning and Anta have developed Western tactics such as celebrity endorsements, emotional storytelling, and social media engagement, mirroring brands like Nike. And then we have the American impact on European football. So European football clubs have embraced US-style marketing, emphasizing merchandising, branding, international sponsorships similar to NBA and NFL strategies. And then the entertainment-driven approaches. So American influence has really shifted sports marketing towards treating events such as entertainment experiences and engaging fans on cultural and emotional levels beyond the sport. And then lastly, we look at the cultural exchange enhancing marketing reach. So while preserving local identities, sports marketers borrow successful and global techniques to expand their appeal and connect with diverse audiences.
We also looked at world event marketing, so it's marketing for the Olympics and the FIFA World Cups, where all the cultures kind of are marketing the same thing, but in their own different ways. There's a lot of cultural customization in global campaigns. Both the Olympics and the FIFA World Cup tailor marketing to reflect national pride, cultural values, and emotionally resonant storytelling for diverse global audiences. There's a big universal theme with local flavor, while promoting universal messages such as the unity, excellence, and teamwork. Marketing strategies incorporate culturally relevant symbols, icons, and language to appeal to those audiences. There's digital and traditional media synergy. Campaigns use a mix of traditional platforms such as TV, radio, etc., and digital channels such as social media, streaming, and other user-generated content to amplify cultural connection and fan engagement. Cultural and ethical guidelines do matter. Rules such as the Olympics Rule 40 ensure brand integrity by restricting non-sponsor promotions, so you can't mention the word Olympics or gold or medal or things like that during a set period, while brands often reflect current social and political climates in culturally sensitive ways. And then the global events as cultural unifiers, the Olympics and the World Cup serve as platforms where diverse cultures come together, promoting shared values and fostering global unity through sport.
So just a little concluding slide here. We have gone over some cultural influence, so how sports marketing has really deeply shaped cultural values from consumer behaviors to preferred marketing strategies. We looked at some tailored strategies, so we looked at how effective sports marketing adapts to local needs, whether it's the entertainment focus in the US, cultural sensitivity in Europe, or digital-driven approaches in China. Global connections, while strategies differ from the core goal, it's the same, creating lasting emotional connections with fans using storytelling, partnerships, or digital engagement. And lastly, adapting across borders, so the global landscape is interconnected and intertwined, but understanding local culture remains the same and essential for sports marketing.
Well, here is a page of all the sources that we used, and thank you for watching. Bye.